Welcome to episode 2 of Sucio Talk. I'm here with my main man, Charlie Appel, who is currently the special project sous chef at the restaurant in MEADOWOOD. Ladies and gentlemen, Charlie Appel.
Hello, hello. Hello, hello.
Very cool. All right, so Charlie, it's probably pretty weird for you that we're doing a podcast in your home right now after so many years of you knowing me. But thank you for doing this. Appreciate that.
Of course.
We're sitting here drinking some red wine. Not exactly sure what we're drinking, but here we go.
Some Spanish red wine.
Oh, there we go. All right, some Spanish red wine.
Yes, sir.
So, Charlie, let's start from the beginning. Where were you born, sir?
Silver Spring, Maryland.
Silver Spring, Maryland, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, man.
And then where is that about? Like, you know, I only know Baltimore. So how far away from Baltimore?
Yeah, it's not really on the Baltimore side. It's
okay.
It's more kind of more towards D.C., that sort of area.
Okay.
Born there. Lived in Largo, Maryland for, I don't know, probably like 4 or 5 years. And then we moved over to Upper Marlboro, PG County, Maryland. That's where I lived my first 18 years.
Hell yeah,
Sir.
Charlie. So, dad and mom, what do they do? What are their names? Let's learn about them.
So we're looking at Alan and Sherry.
Very cool.
Sherry, both now, or well, Sherry's definitely retired now. She worked for DC Transportation, all that for a while. Dad is an author. Alan is an author.
A published author.
Yeah, he's written probably, I don't know, 7 or 8 published books.
That's badass.
Yeah, a couple more books not published.
Yeah.
Right now he does book reviewing for Publishers Weekly magazine. Alan Appel, the thriller guy.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking
Put
dad.
the plug in there.
Hell yeah.
Plug it in, Dad. What up, Dad? Very
Solid.
cool. And then another family member that I know closely because, you know, you guys stayed a couple days in my house is your brother.
Yeah, that's Alan Appel number 3.
Damn.
That's my brother.
3 Alan Apples.
Yeah.
It's pretty badass.
He's the third. Another, we call him Audie. This is his name because my sister could not pronounce it when she was young, so she gave him the name that he will now have. He's what, like 54? We're still calling him Audie, so that's not changing.
Audie spelled how?
Audia.
All right.
Or Oddy.
All right.
Depending.
That's cool.
He kind of mixes it up. You know?
At least you have a spelling for it.
Yeah.
Because most nicknames, I'm like, how you spell that? You're like, I don't know.
Yeah. You got to write that shit on a Christmas card. We don't know him as Alan.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So you grew up going to school there, everything like that. And then when did you pique your interest in cooking? When did that happen for you?
Probably around 14. 13. My dad was, I remember one of the first things I remember him ever making was pasta carbonara.
Really?
Yeah, and that shit was like, blew my socks off. Had never seen anything like that. And just like the fact that like, you like pull the pasta off and like, you know, finish it with the egg yolk so it gets all that like luxurious, like, you know, when you're 13, that's not really in your world of any, you know, you have no idea like that is in food.
And there's some skill in that too.
Yeah.
You know, that's one of those things for staff meal, it could easily be fucked up.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. And and it was just really cool seeing that. And then, you know, when you're like that age, you're like trying to figure out something that you like. And, started cooking for the family a lot for dinner. And then
what sort of things were you cooking?
Just like, you know, your standard, you know, I had a sister, so stuff that 4 people could eat. You know, I'd make like roast chicken and rice, or like roast pork shoulder, or like.
Man, that's pretty badass. Kid that young cooking,
like that.
You know,
that's the shit you learn.
Family dinner, that's all right.
That's the stuff you learn when you're, you know, at least that's the stuff that my dad taught me, because that's the stuff you cook with you your whole life. And, you know, from that, I started reading a lot of books. Started getting into kind of really the, like, Michael Rollman started writing books about, like, I forget the names, but essentially he writes, it was one of his first ones is where he goes to culinary school as an adult. He goes to Hyde Park CIA and kind of learns, that from there, or how to cook from there. And, when you're 16, 15, reading those books are really inspirational, and you kind of hear about, like, the nitty gritty, but then also, like, the passion that you get. And yeah, so I started kind of going.
So that was all kind of enticing you, and you were like,
yeah,
I'm going to go for this?
Well, yeah, that was really enticing me, and then kind of what really pushed me into cooking was, like, I needed to get a damn job. And
Dad was like, get the hell out and get a job.
Yeah, essentially. Well, like, kind of, it was more along the lines of as I was, hanging out after school, and essentially my parents were like, you need to stop having you hang out with your peer group because, you seem to be down for whatever situation anybody wants to throw at you. And
yeah.
So I started, I was getting into a little bit of trouble, and then one day, I forget what happened, but I did something fucking stupid. And my mom, she worked in D.C., and she was literally standing at an Oban pen in line trying to get a coffee and a bagel, and there was a guy in front of her in a chef coat. His name was Peter DeGeorge, the man. But this guy worked at the restaurant next door. My mom didn't know this. She sees a guy in a chef coat, and she's like, hey, my son's getting into some trouble at school. He needs a job. He'll work for free. Will you give this guy a job? Because I think this is what he wants to do. And the guy was like, fuck yeah, bring him in.
That's awesome. So your mom got you your first stage.
Got me my
job. That's ill.
First job. And that job was dishwasher. And I'm talking in a restaurant. It was a great restaurant. Loved it. We spent several years there. It's called Ten Pen. It was on the corner of 10th and Pennsylvania Avenue. No longer exists.
Yeah.
Peter DeGeorge was a sous chef there. Cliff Wharton was the CDC, another very influential chef in my young life.
Cliff Wharton.
Very and cool. Then the man that owned it was all Passion Foods Hospitality Group. The chef of that was Jeff Tunks.
Okay.
And that guy, old school legend. He was the chef of Commander's Palace for some time out in New Orleans. That's where Cliff Wharton and all them guys worked under him, and he brought them all out to D.C.
Yeah.
But, like, and that really what got me into cooking in D.C., which was, working in the Passion Foods Hospitality Group.
What kind of food was it where you were at?
So it was like, Ten Pen was like, the idea was that it was a modern American restaurant using Asian ingredients. You know what I mean?
That's why you're always hooking up those pad thais for a staff meal. That's where you got that from. All right.
Yeah, that was where I got a lot of stuff from, man. That was like when we started cooking, yeah.
Let me just state this. Charlie makes the best motherfucking staff meal you ever had in your life.
Thank you, man.
That's coming from a man who's eaten it time and time again, trying to find a flaw. Can't do it. Can't do it.
I appreciate that.
Sloppy Charlie's.
Sloppy Charlie's.
A national favorite.
Dude.
Have Charlie over your house for Christmas. Tell him to cook you Sloppy Charlie's.
Oh, man.
Act like you've been somewhere.
The best part is, once you know the technique, it just becomes yours. You know what I mean?
There you go.
Your name's David. It becomes, you're making Sloppy Davids.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
Tim, you're making
Damn,
sloppy
a Sloppy David? Is that worse than or better than a Dirty David?
Oh, dude.
Who knows?
Definitely sounds messier.
So you're in this restaurant group, and then, you're a dishwasher, and then what else? Like, when did you get into the actual cooking part of it?
Well, so I was only about dishwasher for the first 2 weeks.
Okay.
Because, this restaurant, we do probably 300 covers a night. We do lunch and dinner. Lunch service in D.C. is huge because you got all the people from, Congress and Capitol Hill and stuff coming out, and they want to eat quick.
Yeah.
So we definitely do numbers. And, we had one of those restaurants where you had your hotline, and then you had the prep kitchen in the back, and then you had your dish area was a whole nother room. And I mean, to be honest, you had 16-year-old white kid who didn't know any Spanish, and then filled with a dish room full of Latinos that didn't know a goddamn word of English. And
you're like, what am I supposed to do? How do I communicate?
They're showing you, they're showing you everything you need to know. But at the end
but
of the
that's
day,
how you learn your Spanish, man.
Dude,
I heard you talk to dishwashers. You know what's up?
Dude, that's how it's, the restaurant industry is, there's a large Latin-speaking population there.
That's right, baby.
Yeah.
That's my peoples right there taking over.
I took French class in high school like an idiot, and you know how much I used that?
French class.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? We were in culinary school and vocational school in Wilcox in Meriden, and they had us take one class, right? Because, other than that, they had to make it worth it. Like, yeah, we're showing these kids how to cook. They're going to take an academic class. So they chose French. 2 days into the class, the teacher's like, do you guys really want to learn French? And we're like, nah. She's like, all right, this is a study hall now. It was amazing. She's like, I'll pass you all, study hall. I forget her name, but God bless you.
Yeah, man, like I said, it would definitely be in everyone's best interest to learn Spanish as a second language. And, just from a lot of, there's, we live in California, and even not in California, I mean, there's a huge population that you're speaking here. And if you want to go to a restaurant and not sound like an idiot, learn a little bit of Spanish.
Oh, for sure.
I don't know how many French restaurants I'm going to get, my lunch, but I tell you, I go to, taquerias, and some of the best restaurants here in Napa are Spanish restaurants.
Oh, that's right.
My favorites.
What are some of the favorites? What do you got?
Let's see. I mean, I went Tanya's Taqueria.
Yeah, that's the bomb.
La Taquiza for your fish tacos.
Oh, of course, that
So
fried brandad taco.
Oh, man.
That's the one.
Dude, I've been going El Morenita Market.
Yeah? That's a cool place, man. That's a straight up butcher shop in there. You can get whole cases of whatever you want from them, man. Those
yeah, so next door, the little like taqueria next door to that, like right past that, that's when I know I've been getting respect from the people that I work with. When I walk in there,
like, you pass, baby.
Exactly. They look at me and they're like, "How does this motherfucker know to come in here and eat this?" Man, that's so good. You know who got me eating there is Lipsky.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
Mike Lipsky.
Shout out to Lipsky. Yeah, the Monrovia, I believe.
Yeah.
In L.A.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, man.
If you're down in the L.A. area.
Yeah, they just they took over. Revamped the menu, making it awesome.
Oh,
Not to say that it wasn't awesome before, but I know Lipsky. He's got some delicious staff meal too.
Dude, hell yeah!
You know what I would always get mad at? I hate when people serve staff meal too hot. Because I'm trying to eat that in 20 minutes.
Yeah,
or less. So when it's super hot, he'd leave his curries on just boiling until it was time to serve staff meal. I'm just like, yo, temper it down a little bit, baby. I want to eat it quick. You know?
That's because that's his life. He's half Korean, man.
That's true, man.
He loves eating that food.
Piping hot.
Piping hot. I'm the guy that it's like I have like my coffee. I'm like, you let it come down to this like lukewarm temperature, and you just eat it all then, drink it all right then.
That's right. Oh, that's the best to do with tea.
Yeah.
Well, it's perfect temperature for chugging.
Yeah.
Nothing better than that.
But I digress. Where were we? Oh yeah.
So you're in restaurants. You're about to put your hands on some mise en place for the first time. Where are you at?
Yeah. So they quickly realized that I'm like not really helping them out as much as I can because they're all yelling me to do stuff and I have no idea what the hell they're saying. And
this is 14-year-old Charlie here.
This is 15.
15-year-old Charlie.
I think I was about to turn 16, yeah. And so I'm cooking essentially Friday after school. I'd get out of school, drive to the metro station, take the train in, start my shift, and then work Saturday, work Sunday. And then I was always doing sports and stuff, but whenever I wasn't, I'd be working. And
what kind of sports were you doing?
I was big into tennis my whole life, huge into tennis. But for school, I did swimming to keep myself fit for that season, and I did a lot of weightlifting after school that other season.
Charlie was yoked.
I was. Not no more.
Swollen, as they say.
Not anymore.
All right.
But was then. So yeah, they like I said, so back then they